Realistic virtual guitar plugins. That's what we'll be talking about today. I've got about 20 different really cool guitars from 3 different companies. We got acoustic guitars, we got electric guitars, we got heavy metal guitars, we got soundtrack, video game guitars, all kind of really cool stuff. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the features and then I'll show you some demonstrations of some of them as well. So these are great for strumming, rhythms, even playing some on your keyboard. Some of them you just hit one key, it plays a different pattern. You have key switches over here for chords on your left hand, that is on your keyboard. So yeah, let's check these out. Let's go. So first up, we got the virtual guitars from UJam. There are 10-day demos of these as well if you want to try those out. But basically, they're all sold separately. We have different guitars here. You have Sparkle, which is the colorful licks with a virtual pop guitar from clean to crunchy. We have Amber, which is basically guitar for pop and ballads, a lot of strumming and stuff like that. Silk is a nylon guitar with finger picking and melodies made easy. And then we have Carbon, which is really cool for like video game production, movie soundtracks and stuff like that. And then we have Iron 2, which is basically rock music, heavy riffs and heavy chords, power chords, all that kind of stuff. And you could buy a bundle of them all together as well. But anyways, let's check out how this all works. I'm going to show you with Iron. I have the original Iron. I don't have the Iron 2, but let's dive into that. So very simple layout. This is really good for rhythms here and everything like that. Add some extra stuff to your songs. Basically, it works this way. We have some presets over here. And we have style presets over here. And these are common patterns that work with all the styles. And then we have style phrases based on the style that you pick up here. And then we have a chord thing up here. And this is all laid out on your keyboard with C, that's C4, C3, and C1 and 2. But you can also trigger it from here. Obviously, that's the chords, and then we have different patterns here. Some more common ones. Power chords. So as you can see, very instantly, you get some great results for your tracks. And down here we have different guitars and amps, and we have a doubling feature, which is on now. Turn it off for a second, then it'll just be a mono. We have a D drop for the guitar as well that I just turned off. And then we have different guitars, so if you want like a different amp settings, clean amp. So yeah, really quickly, you can get some really cool results for your tracks. So check out the demos of those if you wish. There's 10 days for each demo if you want to download them. And let's get into the next one, which are Session Guitarists by Native Instruments. They have about 7 different guitars here that you can create really cool patterns with very quickly. They also have playable instruments where you can play it on a keyboard and such. They got like a vintage Telecaster here, a picked nylon, electric Sunburst Deluxe, which is like a Les Paul style guitar, a picked acoustic. And then they have these pack here comes with 2 guitars. One's a 12-string acoustic, one's a regular acoustic, strummed acoustic here. Now these ones, they come with a bunch of different patterns, usually about 200 patterns each guitar. Roughly. The interfaces pretty much all work the same with these ones as well. So once you get familiar with one of these different plugins, all the other ones kind of work the same. And they have different settings here. You could do open, you could do mute, palm mutes, and mixed, strum arpeggiators and riffs, different feels and stuff like that. You could even tap in a rhythm search up here if you want to do a rhythm search for a particular rhythm that you're working on. And then the interface you use with your keyboards, you have the different chords and then endings, articulations and such, open, muted, tremolo, all kind of stuff like that. Another look at it here. We have like a bunch of different, just a simplified version of the chords and everything. And like for the electrics, they have a different thing here for bridge and neck pickups. You get really tone in on your sound and everything like that. Fret noise, floor noise, detuning. Then there's effects and everything. These Effects come with the acoustic and electric. They're different, a little bit different, obviously, because you don't amp and acoustic. So they have like the amps here for like the electric guitars and stuff like that. The acoustic ones have effects as well and different reverbs and stuff like that. So a lot of really, really cool stuff in here. And they also have a melody version, as they call it, which you can play the guitar on the keyboard. And then if you go to amplesound.net, you're going to find a bunch of really cool guitar plugins. They got a 12-string acoustic. They got a Gibson style guitar here. They got a Taylor. They got a Martin acoustic. They got a bunch of basses as well. They have acoustic bass, an SG style guitar, a Telecaster. They even got upright bass, this is Les Paul style here. They got metal guitars. Some really, really cool stuff here. A bunch of really cool guitars. They're all sold separately. And they got heavy metal ones. They got the solid or semi-hollow body here. And we're going to take a look at one of these. I got this Paul Reed Smith one, which is right here. I got the Telecaster one, and I got some of the acoustics. And they also have a free light version, which is the Martin guitar, acoustic guitar. And they have a bass as well. They even have... what else they got here? They got these banjo, ukulele, Asian instruments of some sort. But yeah, and nylon string guitar, classical guitar style here as well. So lots of really cool stuff with them. And these ones are a little more complex. They still have a simple version to use. I shouldn't say version. It's all the same plugin. But there's some simplicity to some of the parts. But if you want to get more complex with these ones, you can. So that's just me playing it on the keyboard real quick. This one, like I said, is more in depth. There's a lot more things you can do with this one. So over here, we have the main thing. We have a strummer, which has all these patterns in here. You just turn this on, and then the keys on your keyboard become strumming patterns. These are some of the ones they have preset. So I would just play this, for example. So they have these patterns in here, and you could change these patterns. You could do all kind of crazy stuff. You can make your own patterns. And this is kind of using the Nashville number system down here. 1. So if you change 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they have the chords out here. And then they have more with like 1 is the C major chord. This is in the key of C. You could change the key down here. So the D. So if you have the key switches already on your computer or in the MIDI file that you create when you do this, you will have, it'll automatically switch the key without changing any of the MIDI data. So now when I hit the C on the keyboard, I'm actually playing the D chord when I do this. And like I said, they have so many patterns in here. You could go over to here, and we have all these different patterns and stuff that you can choose from. And the keys on your keyboard, which you can't see at the moment, let's go to main here. These are going to change in corresponding, like these are different patterns, sequence 3, sequence 4, sequence 5. So you play this sequence here. And you could actually edit these chords too. If you go back to here, you could take notes out. Like right now we have the D selected. So we're in the D major chord. If I want to take that note out, make a custom chord there. And there's all kind of really cool stuff you can do with this. You could detune the guitar if you want to. And this is just the strumming pattern. I'm not going to go into everything here because this is a pretty, in-depth thing. And by the way, this is the Taylor guitar here that I'm playing with. I'll show you the electric in a second. And we have different settings for the stereo, stereo 2, mono, mono 1. We have the main thing here. And we could also play, these notes here are just the notes. Actually, that's a strum pattern, but these ones here are the notes. See, the D chord starts with that note there, so that's why these ones were silent. In other words, so let's go back to the D chord, which would be the 1 in this case. And we can play them on the keyboard too. I think I edited out that high note. Let me put that back in. I took that note out, so that's why it's silent. So let's go here. So I'm just playing that on the keyboard. And then we also have strums and stuff in here as well, which is cool. So if you want to create your own patterns playing it that way. So there's really a lot you can do with this one. They even have tablature in here, which is pretty cool. They have effects. The acoustic ones just kind of have this one. I have the reverb on right now. And all kind of stuff you can do. And they have picks. They have strumming guitar as well. Although I am playing with the pick on this one. Also, with the acoustic one here, we have different mics that we can change. We have panning, the width, the doubling effect. Just all kind of different things we can do here. You could put it in a capo as well. So if we want to put a capo on this fret here, for example. So sometimes I do that. It's a different way of playing guitar. Obviously, it takes a little bit of while to get used to. But let's say I'm going to change chords with my left hand, and I'm going to play with my right hand. Or whatever. So that's pretty cool. And as you can hear, there's fret noises in there as well. And you could take those out. There's a different setting for that. And then we have different key switches too, for like slides and everything. Those are these keys down here, palm mutes and such. Let's try the palm mutes. All kind of really cool stuff. There's even some sounds up here. I forget what all these ones are. Guitar hits. So let's check out the electric real quick. So this is the Paul Reed Smith guitar that I have. And we have lots of different things here. We just have different patterns here as well. The player section. This is kind of a newer feature as well. You could write in patterns this way. And again, this one's, like I said, it's more in depth. They have the tab player, of course. And then we have amps built in here as well. So and effects and stuff like that, and the settings. And they have some presets of amps and everything in different guitars, because you do get both pickups if you want this pickup or that pickup. Let's just play something here real quick. We could go back to the amps here and put a cleaner sound on. or whatever. And like I said, there's presets down here as well. A lot of really cool stuff that you can do pretty quickly with these ones. This is another way to edit your guitar sounds and do all this kind of stuff. Again, a little bit of a learning curve. You're basically hitting the different strings of the guitar. You're writing notes in this way. And then there's effects and stuff like that here, down here. Just put that stuff in there like that. Downstroke. You can do downstroke, upstrokes. Pretty advanced stuff. Like I said, there's a little bit of a learning curve to some of this stuff, but once you get the hang of it, yeah, you're good to go. All right, so if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and please do subscribe to the channel. That is all for now, and I will talk to you soon.